One of the questions that I get asked an awful lot is, how did you get started doing the war on waste the particular way that you do? And this is a question people should ask me because it really is the heart of uh, what I do. It started literally in the very first class that I actually gave. I had put together a set of about 160 slides, and I was going to give a 10-week 3 days a week lecture, an hour in the morning or an hour per day, Monday, Wednesday, and Fridays at this company. And they were going to learn about the Toyota production system. What was fun about this was that in the first class at 6:30 in the morning, about 15 minutes into my presentation, one of the ladies raised her hand and I called on her and she said, "How long did you say this was going to last?" And I said, "Well, it's going to be 10 weeks, and it's 3 days a week, an hour in the morning for your time at 6:30 till 7:30." And she goes, "Oh man, is this going to be boring?" And you know, you're listening to someone say something like that, and you go, "How could you be saying that? This is the great Len Bertain who's going to be giving you lectures for 10 weeks." And then I asked the most important question is, well, why do you say that? Why would you think, or why would you say this was going to be boring? She says, "I can't read." And I go, "What do you mean you can't read? I mean, you have bad eyesight?" And she goes, "No, I'm illiterate." She actually used this term. She says, "I'm illiterate." And so here I am, I'm trying to get things squared away, and I thought of everything except for that. And so then at that point, we were talking about what waste was, and I pointed out that waste was anything that customers did not want to pay for. It was things that you did in the processes that were wasteful and, slowed down the production of product out the door and so forth. And we were talking about that briefly. And so then I said, well, let's turn this into a discussion, so that I wanted this particular lady to participate. So we made it a discussion. And then that led, it's like the coffee clatch in the morning. Everybody can bitch about the company, but when you turn it on in a classroom like that, wow. I mean, within 20 minutes, I had like 20 wastes up on the board that some of them were good, but many of them were pretty good. And so once we had the wastes, then I had to start thinking about what I was going to do with them. So we figured out how big they were, and then we figured out what particular solutions we could come up with. And the actual costing out of the war on waste, which now is $2,000, that's the most people could spend. But we were finding consistently that we were getting around over $100,000 for each of the wastes when we would do a calculation up on the board. Some of them were maybe 70,000, others were 120, 150, but they were big numbers. And so anyway, one thing led to another, and then we formalized the process so that we, first of all, look for wastes. Then we look for the root cause of the waste. Then we look at how big the waste is, see if we can figure out how the waste contributes to waste inefficiencies and costing the company money. And then we come up with a solution. And when we add up all the waste, they got to be over $100,000. And when we add up all the whatever costs we're going to come up with, we can't spend over $2,000. Now it turns out, and then after that we come up with what's the implementation plan, and then what are the metrics that will tell us that we've succeeded in getting rid of this waste. So anyway, when all of that's put together, that becomes the current war on waste. I call it Len Bertain's war on waste, simply because I've been doing it for 25 years, and that's the way we do it. And so if you have any questions about that, you can contact me at thewaronwasteacademy.com, and you can see some other videos on there that are some of the other should have asked questions. So anyway, thank you for listening. See you on the other side.